Let's talk housing today, and a little bit of politics. The bulk of it's going to be housing, and the bullshit around housing. Politics will be at the end, very briefly. All right, let's kick it off with this. Rental market drives Canadian housing starts at the highest level since 2022. Yeah, no surprise. I've been saying for years, our biggest issue with the pricing in the market is the vacancy rate. We need to get our vacancy rates up. How do you get the vacancy rates up? You build more rentals. If you have more rentals, you have fewer investors competing to purchase property to offer them up as rentals. Keeps a cap on price growth. But BC housing experts argue in open letter that more supply alone will not solve crisis. You know why? Because the supply isn't the problem. I mean, it leads to an issue, but it's not the problem. And it doesn't matter how much supply we put on the market, it's not going to bring the prices down to the level they need to be. Because the prices of the housing is not the problem. You know where I'm going with this, but don't get ahead of me. Canada's housing crisis stirs revealing flights of fiction and fantasy. And this article is all about the bullshit they've been telling us for years. We got stats, you know. And what I find funny is I can find these stats fairly quickly. But over these many years, journalists couldn't? Interesting. This is from CMHC. This is from the government. From the third quarter of 1955. Scroll through the document, get to the end, and you will find this. This is the cost of a house. This is the cost. It's not the market value of the house. This is the cost of the house. There's a single story, single 1.5, finished, 1.5, unfinished, etc., etc., etc. It's about 12 grand. That's the cost. There's land, construction, other. You're looking at 12, 13, 14 grand. And then there's the profit on top of that, which back then was about 50%. So a house in 1955 was about $16,000, $17,000, $18,000. There are some articles out there, especially AI, will tell you that it's around $7,000 or $8,000. No, it's not. This article, and I'm sorry, I forgot to get the title page for you. Anyway, it tells you sales that happened in Toronto, 1957. This detached two-story was $30,500, which jives with what I just said. If a bungalow is like $12,000 plus $6,000 for profit, you're looking at around $18,000 for an average bungalow. And $30,500 for a two-story in Toronto makes total sense. 1958, this couple bought a semi-detached two-story for $16,900. Again, makes total sense. Absolutely in line with these costs from CMHC in 1955. How much did people make in 1955? It's why I get upset with the media, because this stuff is super easy to find. There's the hours worked. There's the income per week. Sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $70. Let's go in the middle with 60. If you made $60 a week and worked for 50 weeks, you made $3 grand. If a house was 18 grand and you were making $3 grand, a house was worth 6 times your annual income. What's your annual income now? Even if I was liberal with this, I went to 70 grand. 70 grand times 6 is $420,000. You ain't buying a house for that. But I want to point out something. Houses were expensive to build even in 1955. So it's not the cost of housing. It's not the cost of the housing. Remember, the United States was on the gold standard back then. 1955, gold was $35 an ounce. It was held at $35 an ounce. That's what the law said until Nixon changed it. There's 1970, gold was $36 an ounce. 1971, 1972. 1971 was when the Nixon shock happened. Look at that. 58, 97, 154, 160, 306. Money is worth 1/100th of what it was worth in 1955. $1 in 1955 is 1 penny now. That's why the profit margin on those homes has gone from 50% to around 10%. While you chew on that, yesterday I said that Donald Trump needs a war. He's found one. It's in the making right now. It's actually been in the making for about a year. He thought he could get away with a war on Iran, but then they had the FAFO moment. Now they're going to go to war with Venezuela. This is a 100% fictional war. I will show you. First up, there's this $50 million reward for information leading to the capture of Nicolas Maduro. This is Qasem Soleimani. They took him out with a targeted drone strike in January of 2020. This is the National Assembly of Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro is often here. When he's not there, he's at the palace. It's located right here in the middle of Caracas. If I believed that they would actually give away this money, I would make some phone calls. He isn't that hard to find. Not to mention, they already seized a whole bunch of his other homes in Mexico, Dominican Republic, etc. They know exactly where he is. Remember last year? Elon Musk was in a war of words with Nicolas Maduro. This has been brewing for a while now because they need a war. And Venezuela is an easy target. Let's wrap it up. Some of you are saying, what's the point? He's going to be gone, like eternally, in a few years. It doesn't matter. The party will still be in power. The party is going to eliminate elections and they will remain in power forever. Who's going to take over? Somebody. It's kind of irrelevant. I'm telling you, this is the biggest risk to your finances over the next several years. I'm saying at least 5, because in the event that the 2028 election actually happens, it'll still take a few years to clean up this mess.